Yeah, it is not bad. And we are back with game. I would say game 2, but the second game of the day, which is between SweetyMood and Space Gamer Mamazita. Like we said, if you cut the logos there, they look really rad. SweetyMood with those lollipops, I like that.
Sweet logo.
Yeah, it's a really nice logo, and obviously we will flash our logos as well when they come up on screen. Hope you guys actually caught the brackets. But yeah, I mean, Space Gamers, or rather Space Gamer Mamacita, they are feeling pretty fresh off the last game from either pot, and if they win, they will be our first semi-finalists.
That's right. I mean, they have proceeded quite well. I think drafting wise, really strong by SGM. So really interested to see how they kind of bring this momentum into the second series of our English games here. So we can see the bans already. We standard bans here, Zip and Raz here being banned out by SweetyMood. Of course, on the side of SGM, they have the Quick 6 as well as the Varus being banned out as well. So a very tanky lineup so far on the side of SweetyMood. So Xenio, Yena, and Rock. Rock, I mean, we haven't seen much of this character so far in most of the tournaments I've casted anyway, but Rock is
I've never casted a Rogue game yet.
Well, Rogue is really strong.
When Rogue first came out, it was constantly banned out. I know of that. So
I mean,
so that's why we never casted, and then I never casted those patch of games, and now we are in a patch where Rogue is just not. I wouldn't say not worth picking up, but he's always overlooked compared to the other MMs now, because
that's right.
You always want an MM that's staying at the back. You don't want too many melee heroes, and Rogue is pretty much like a melee marksman per se. But he's still very strong. He's really strong. He still. So
his damage, he can absorb a lot of damage while dishing out a great lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And not only that, I think the good thing about having a Rogue is that you can afford to play a lot more aggressive. Because you don't have to worry about that squishy MM in the back.
Yeah, and he dives towers. I mean, the ones that I've casted before, Rock is always known to just dive towers along with the team, so it's like all in, right? They get the kill, get out, nobody dies, but they get one objective, right? So on the side of SGN, they're gonna probably go with the D-Rock here. So D-Rock, Yon, and Krignark, all very strong burst heroes. Krignark, as we have already seen in the first series, really scary character in the correct hands as well. So not sure whether they're keeping this, because I think Star has been playing Yena all the way, right, for SGM here. Not sure if she's going to be the one that's going to be picking up the Krignark for this game.
She's definitely getting picked up. I think I think it's going to be the same roster again. It's going to be S9 playing the Krignark. We're going to see Lolicon play the tank, and then we'll pretty much see Kurazul play the mage. So in this case, it will be pretty much the Durak. I think the Durak will be played by Kurazul if they are going to be playing the same draft. But I'm more interested about SweetyMood. Obviously, our newest contender. We don't know too much about SweetyMood. Maybe you viewers will know better than us. But it's always nice to see a new contender come up along the stats as well. But let's take a look at the stats that we had from last week. So, just looking through the numbers, any surprises for you there? I mean, we do see a Tel Chan here and there. We do see a Nakrov getting picked up as well. Nakrov is actually really popular in Vietnam.
I love Nakrov, man. Nakrov is like
we used to run Nakrov a lot, and Nakrov is really squishy, but he's undoubtedly the high burst, highest clear speed wave, fastest farming speed, but super late game. Like you need to go really late game with Nakrov.
Right. Well, we haven't seen any Murats so far today.
Yeah, we seen one last week, only one. Throughout the entire tournament, we only see one so far. And in Vietnam, it was like I think 50% ban rate. But then in Taiwan, not so much. I think Murat is just one of those heroes that are just overlooked. Yeah, but I think the numbers are pretty on point. I don't see too much of a difference, except that they focus a lot more on not only the Omen. They do focus a lot on the Violet as well. But other than that, I think pretty much the same. But we do see Marlon getting picked up a lot in Taiwan.
Well, I kind of miss Laurel since her name is here. Laurel, I mean, her second skill, if I'm not wrong, is a second skill. It has been patched back, so she has been buffed. If I'm not wrong, this current patch, she does have that invincibility after the usage of a second skill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
she does.
so I mean, I played her like I think two weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So like that was really broken. Like when everyone figured out the timing for the invulnerability. So I'm quite surprised Laurel isn't picked up as often anymore. I mean, Laurel was famous for the 1v5 situations across the board. And yeah, it's really interesting to see why nobody else has picked it up so far. But as you can see, on the side of SweetyMood, they have a Crixie, Fennec, Rock, Yenna, and Xenio. A double jungle skill set here. So it's really interesting. I think they will be very focused on the invasion, right? And I think this really can hurt SGM, because Krignut, of course, while one of the fastest farmers of the game, you can't really compare that to a Fennec, because the burst from Fennec is really insane. But we have to take a look at how durable the characters are on the side of SGM here, because they are quite squishy. I mean, you have a Yawn, you have a T-Rock, as well as a Krignut. These three heroes are pretty squishy, while of course they have huge bursts, right? But this really comes down to the positioning. They have a net for support as well, so I think this is the way they're gonna try and disengage fights. So I don't know. I want to see how SGM plays this out. SweetyMood, this is gonna be the first game of the day for them today. So hopefully they've warmed up so far. Yep.
Yeah, I just want to add on. I think you brought a really good point about the Fennec as well as the Rogue as well. Obviously, with his ultimate, it's gonna be a bit difficult for the side of Space gamer Mamazita to actually re-engage, because it's very different. It's a very different lineup to what they face compared to the previous game, especially against Etherbots, because it's very different. Like, their lineup is way more direct. It's way more upfront as well. They're not too afraid about playing it close, because of the fact that they have, or rather they don't have, a squishy MM this time around. If you look at the entire hero, the only hero that is really squishy, right? I think Fennec is considered the squishiest of hero. I mean, Crixie, she doesn't even need to put herself in the front line. She has the ultimate. She can just use Moonshine. She can also just use the stun as well. And for Fennec, he has that rolling thunder. He doesn't really have to worry too much. He just has to rely on using the Chain Hammer Cyclone. But Chain Hammer Cyclone, it just, towards the late game, his attack speed is just so high that he doesn't have to worry about getting caught out in position. And they also have to worry about Yenna, which we saw how well Space can use. But this time around, obviously, in the hands of SweetyMood, it might be a little bit different.
Well, I mean, based on the draft, I'm pretty confident of SweetyMood's lineup here. I mean, you have the Xenio, who can definitely jump into the backlines anytime, as long as they don't get the respective control on them. You have to deal with a Xenio who is able to jump into a backline. You have to deal with the Yenna, who is so tanky and able to deliver damage up front. And you have to care about the Rock as well, because the Rock can go in with Yenna. And at the same time, while all of this is happening, you have a Crixie who's just throwing butterflies and stuff at the back, right? And this is like 4 problems. And the 5th and final problem is going to be a Fennec. And who do you want to go for in these team fights? It's gonna be really difficult. You have to choose one. If you catch the Fennec, you have to deal with the Rock and Yenna. And if you don't deal with the Xenio, your backline is essentially gone, right?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a non-invade on both sides here. Krignut and Rogue are gonna be jungling respectively on both sides. So it looks like Fennec is gonna be one-on-one on the bottom lane with Yawn.
What do you think about the Annette pickup though? Like, we haven't really touched too much on Annette. We did see her getting picked up. And what do you think about, I mean, she obviously has an ulti, so...
Okay, so I think a net basis, my focus personally on a net wouldn't be her ultimate, it would be her wing cuffs, right? So wing cuffs is able to actually stun 2 targets if you get it together, right? So that is a very crucial moment during team fights. If they can land that stun, you essentially disable 2 members at the same time. So it becomes a 3v5, even if for that split 2 to 3 seconds, right? So along with the Gust Force as well, I think it might not be a lot of damage if you're going for a typical support build, right? Personally, I am very greedy. I don't go for support builds as well. I just go for a full magic burst, but that's just me. And it looks like Dark Rose are going to be caught out. It's going to be first blood. Alright, so Space S9 once again building herself up to be the MVP so far for us today. It looks like she's not done here. Okay, so
we did mention about her in the first game, right? We did mention that Krignark is one of the fastest scaling junglers, and you have to always look at level 4. And pretty much, if your jungler is about to hit level 4, you can pretty much expect a Krignark to be already level 4.
Well, Space, we already see they like it really fast pace here. So S9, not gonna be too worried about the Rock here. It's too much mobility. Rock, yes, he is a very mobile character as well, but of course not in comparison to characters like Krignark, right? So you can see here it's gonna be a group of 4 members here. They're gonna try and catch maybe gonna die here.
Yeah,
oh, maybe.
Die.
Oh well, died.
Yeah, the reign of heroes gonna pick up, especially from the Yon as well. We were talking about the Xeno skin, but he's not level 4 yet, so he doesn't really have the ultimate to really join the Yon in the battle. He could have been safe, right? If the Yon comes down, rather the Yon, or rather if the Xeno had his level 4, had his ultimate, he could have survived.
Even with the Divine Grace, I don't think she would have been able to change much of the result here. As you can see, Star being poked out by Rock here. A lot of damage dealt to her, but Roxy's Roxy, right? So she can get the heal. And it looks very interesting to us. While they're busy fighting, looks like nobody's going to contest the AD at this point of time, which is really weird. We're 3 minutes into the game, and it looks like S9. Whoa, maybe not gonna get taken out here.
This time around he has the Xeno by his side, so that's the support that we have been talking about, especially when you need the support. But they finally do manage to pick up the bottom tier 1 tower.
First tower of the game, and now this creates space for S9 to come and try and take the AD for her team here. So, but it's gonna be secured. So this is gonna be a closer to 2k gold lead on the side of Space Gamers. SGM here, I think one thing they're really strong at is to actually get the gold advantage and experience advantage in their favor. I mean, so far, it's only been what, 4 games so far? No, 3 games so far. But SGM hasn't lost any momentum. They have managed to kind of force their way to get the early advantage, and that has always been a very key factor to how the games have turned out so far.
Yeah.
So, well,
I mean, we haven't really touched about Rogue as well. We did mention that he's a really fast, he's really good fast in terms of rotation. He's really good in terms of being able to soak up damage as an MM. I mean, if you consider all the MM combined, I think it's the tankiest one. But now let's see the contest.
Lolicon here trying to force Olive out of position. Interesting here. Probably gonna make a mistake. Lolicon's gonna jump out with an ultimate here. And it looks like Moon gonna be the one to try and get the team fight for her team. Looks like it's gonna be a 1-for-1 exchange if I'm not wrong, as S9 is being chased down. This is not a good position to be, as Dark Rose almost makes it as S9. Well, too close for comfort in my opinion, but she makes it out. So it's okay so far. A 3-1 score with a 2k gold lead going to advantage of SGM here. As Dark Rose and Genio, they're gonna be making their way around the map, and Shailene here on the Dawn trying to kind of push it away, but Olive actually gets 1 jungle stack. Not a lot in this case, but everything amounts to something here.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive that the Thai players do I would say focus a lot and pick up the John, and you can kind of see why. They do put a lot of percent. Look at just how quickly they can take the top tower. You leave it undefended for what, 5 seconds, and it's down to 40 HP. And then you have the Annette as well, the ultimate to actually push them out. You talk about the Guards Wings as well. And now we can see them being contested.
Moon here, very aggressive. I think she understands how strong her character is. Pushing D-Rock here close to less than half health. It looks like Annette trying to force the issue here. Top lane is going to drop, maybe throwing down the chains. Not going to do much for her team here because the tower has been taken. You can take a look at the rotations here by Space. Every time they get an objective, it's going to be next objective, right? And with that, this is the second tower in a row for them. This spells really good for SGM here. They have taken 3 towers in total. Quite strong lane control as now because of this. They're able to secure the AD. No contest for sure from the side of SweetyMood here. SweetyMood, I think what needs to happen for them now is, I think Moon currently is at a stage of the game where she can kind of hold her own. So she should be rushing the front lines against the opponent and let Xenio and Fennec do their work. Let them jump into the back line, let Rock and Fennec just deal the damage and the pain. As you can see, of course, SGM not gonna let them happen as they're hiding in the bush here, waiting for Xenio to make a bad move, maybe. Gonna be running out. And Shailene, oh wow, Shailene's actually quite pain here.
Yep. I think it's a stage where the Yon's getting really scary. Krignark comes in with the flight as well, nearly picks up the Yon. and not the Yon but the Fennec, but here comes Darcy and the rest of Space. They are pushing the issue, and like we said, they do really well in rotation, but I gotta say, not too many mistakes played on the part of SweetyMood. I think it's just Space doing the same thing as game 1, or rather up against Interpods. Don't make too much of a mistake, don't give away too much of a lead, and trust in the fact that the Yon can carry the game.
I think SweetyMood is kind of in a very tight position here because with their lineup, I feel they should be more aggressive in their approach in terms of positioning. Like, I really feel the Xenio and the Rogue should go on the offensive in terms of like positioning to get the team fights happening. But the thing here is they need the relevant support from the back line, right?
Oh, yeah,
so you need the quick C, you need maybe to kind of dish out the damage as well. Because what is happening now is that while Space, they have a lot of damage, which, I mean, now it's probably going to secure DS for themselves. The thing is, if SweetyMood can split the fight, it's going to be very disastrous for Space because they don't really have a huge defense mechanism here. So I think SweetyMood needs to be more bold. They need to be more aggressive here. And as you can see, this positioning that SweetyMood is at right now allows free pokes from the side of SGM.
I agree as well. It doesn't look like they're even or rather contesting it. Oh, they're just giving a lot of free hits, not only to Space, but they are getting zoned out, and they haven't dropped the Drake as well. So not only are they going to get the Drake, but they might even get the Rogue. Got rocked into the wrong space there. It does have the Divine, but it might not be enough. It was actually out of the range, and now the Xeno might be able to pay the price, but it comes down with the second skill, buys a little bit of space for himself. But here comes the Yon and the rest of the team. A net will push him out of position, and not only will they get the Xeno, they will drop the Drake, and they will pick up the Abyssal Dragon.
That was a beautiful stun here by Kurazao. I think that placement of her skill was really great at that specific timing. Not only did it not allow Xenio to kind of make the escape, but it kind of forced everyone back. So take a look at what's happening now. SweetyMood, they are kind of pushed back against the backs against the wall, right? And they have a DS breathing down on the bottom lane. This is going to be a free tower for Space, no matter how you see it. There's not much you can do here. So now I think what SweetyMood needs to think about is get this tower up and think about how they're going to defend the other things. Because this looks like it's going to be the end of the game if this continues here. They're just getting poked down for free. They don't have an answer.
Yeah, and you can see how S9 was actually just prepared to take down. The moment the tower went down, they actually want to go for it. And look at how tanky this Rox is. He's just taking out all the shots. Darcy is applying pressure in mid, and there's another wave coming down. Sentinel is still half HP, or rather Drake is still half HP. They're pushing the top lane. Things not looking too good.
Yep. Dark Rose here is maybe gonna get caught out, but it looks like that's not gonna be the main issue as the second final tier turret is going to be taken out here. This leaves 1 tower in their base, and it looks like Chaylin really ballsy. I mean, Chaylin really squishy, but you know, take a look at the positioning, right? They need to be able to do that. Roxy actually gets the hook in, and so now Star really aggressively to move in here. It's still a 5 DT situation, maybe. Gonna get caught out here as Dark Rose gonna mount that final defense. This is looking like it's gonna be game set here for SGM. And look at it, the Xenio jump in, the good stun, but they have to have follow-up. Rock, nice kill here. Can he get more? Now it looks like the Divine Grace is going to be landed. No, it's going to be stopped by Star here. Nice ultimate here, stopping the ultimate from Xenio. So this is going to provide a very good breathing space. So SGM, really well done. So one thing SGM has been consistently doing is to get the pokes in, right? I don't think in terms of range, they kind of win, right? Because Fang has the longest range out of all the MMs in the game. I mean, if you don't compare Violet inside, right? So you have a long range, the longest range MM, which is Fennec. You have the strongest and tankiest MM, which is Rogue. So I think they should be more aggressive, but they're getting like free hits, giving free hits to SGM here, and I think that is really killing them at this point of the game.
Yeah, really good Gaspi is coming out from Lolicon as well on the net, just to get the stun of both the Rogue and the Xenu. So that kind of sets them back.
The DS now is in the hands of SGM, and it looks like game set to me. I mean, there's nothing much they can do. All of the jungle creeps have been taken away. So Olive here, I think Olive has been doing well on the rope, but I think could have been more aggressive with the positioning.
I think it's not only the fact that whether she's a little bit more aggressive. I think it's the follow-up. She's been really aggressive, but it's because of the drop. Like, you have a crit that's constantly just poking that in on the neck, and there's no way that they can separate too far away from the rope. If they stick to the rope, the crit catches out.
Oh no, Olive, they actually get stunned out here. S9, so much space moved in for here, and Moon is probably gonna die here. Looks like it's gonna be the first kill of this team fight, and looks like Xenio is gonna be the next one to fall as well. This is gonna be game set. well done to SGN there as to secure the first game of the series.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. I don't think... I think that was not only a tough game for the side of SweetyMood, it's just the way that it has been played so far. And like I said, I go back to the draft. I really think the reason why
SweetyMood, right?
Yeah, SweetyMood kind of fell back was because of Space Gamers Mamazita's draft. If you look at Space Gamers Mamazita draft, they have a quick knock. I really think the quick knock is something that they should take out on the draft and start SweetyMood, because you mentioned a really good point, which I do back up as well. You feel like Olive, she should have been a little bit more aggressive. I think she's been aggressive enough. Where I see SweetyMood kind of lack is the follow-up. You see them, trying to keep the distance because they have that squishy heroes in terms of the Crixie as well as the Fennec. I know coming into the draft, I did contradict myself a little bit. I mentioned that if you look at the squishiest hero, it's the Fennec, and true enough, it is the Fennec that's the squishiest hero. The issue is when they go in, the Krigna is always looking, and this is just a testament to how good S9 is. And not only as a player but an assassin as well. She's always looking for the right heroes to kill, always looking for the right entry point, and true enough, I think most of the time she's always on point. She's always getting either the Fennec, she's always getting the Crixie, either that or she knows that Olive is too far away from her teammates and she just goes for it. The rest of the teammates trust in their judgment and they go. And on top of it, they have Lolicon, who's such a good net. You talk about the wind carves, you talk about the tornado as well, and then you compile the fact that they have a Yawn that is not even getting ganked. If you look at the line of SweetyMood, who in that draft has the ability to catch a Yawn? Absolutely none. They don't have a single one that can dive.
They do have the Xeno. I think the main issue here, while the draft, I mean, if we were to play the same lineup again, I think the main issue was the control, right? Because nobody could control the Krigna when she jumped in. S9 essentially is a free out. So for Xeno, when you use the S2, you have to plan your jump in, right?
Yeah.
And then for Crixie, you have to plan her skill 2 as well to get the stun in. And all of this requires some reaction time. So that split 1 or 2 seconds is more than enough for S9 to just jump in and get the kill.
I agree as well.
I think it's a control issue rather than a drafting issue. So I mean, even with the draft, I still think SweetyMood could have done much better. I mean, because I personally love Xeno. I use Xeno a lot. So Xeno tends to do best if you are going towards the backline, because late game, your shield, your burst is almost able to cut down the opponent to a half health straight away. Just that explosion of the shield, you get it half health, and a couple more hits, you kind of take one team member out of the opponent's side, right? So, but the thing is, of course, while you're doing that, someone must cover your own backline, which in this case, they don't really need much if the Rock is able to kind of get the kills in. So, I think it's really just planning the control, because they have to kind of fill in for that 1 to 2 second aiming time for their stuns.
Yeah.
And if SweetyMood can come up with maybe a slightly different draft to kind of see how they can actually plan their stuns, I think that will work out better for them in this second game of the series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they should have swapped sides. I think Space Girls actually did manage to win the previous game, but for some reason they are not switching. So I think Space will be on the right side.
Well, not too big of an issue, I guess, as the first few bans have been clocked out here. So it looks like SweetyMood is going to be going in with the first ban on Florentino, and Varus is going to be the first ban on the side of SGM.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Space Game did win the first game, right? Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
So it looks like they want to stay on the first side. They might just prefer the first pick for the side of SweetyMood.
Well, it's up to them here. So let's take a look at what the options they have. Looks like Xeno's going to be banned on the side of SweetyMood. So I think what SweetyMood needs now, I think, is really the control. They need characters who have an easier time aiming their stunts.
Oh yeah.
Well,
not only that, I think in terms of initiation, the right follow up. Like if you look at the previous game, you did point out a really good point that Xeno can kind of initiate the fight with the second skill, but where's the follow up? Because there's no one to actually jump on, and Xeno doesn't have enough damage on his own to actually take out a backline or even Yawn for the fact.
Yeah, he wouldn't stand up to a crit knock. I mean, late game, right? It's kind of hard unless you get the stun first, which in this case, S9 really great with her mobility. She knows the character quite well, so it's really tough to catch someone who knows their character very well, right? So SweetyMood, I think they have to kind of think about, okay, what characters can we take that has decent control in terms of time. Oh wow, okay, so they actually let out the Zip on the side of Space and SweetyMood as well. So Zip is going to be munched up here by SweetyMood. Zip, broken character.
I mean, he does have the angry, which is really irritating. You can not. I think the irritating part about Zip is angry can be used on your teammates. That's the irritating part. Whenever your teammates are going to die, you just eat them up, you regroup, you refight, and then suddenly it feels like everything that you throw into that hero is just reset.
Yeah, it resets the fight in a way, and you can kind of stop the momentum of team fights. Right?
You can stack waves as well. It's just a really good hero to have in terms of not only in terms of team fight, but in terms of wave management as well. You can have a very big wave pushing in because you can kind of just swallow your first wave, bring it back to the second wave that's coming up, and suddenly if you're the opponent, you have to deal with two waves instead of one, and that could be that split amount of time needed to get the push in.
Well, SGM here, they really love the Yawn and Yena as well. So
I mean, not surprised.
Yawn has been in every game so far, I think, be it on either side of both teams. So Yawn, I think, Yawn is not the best in my personal opinion, but I mean, I can see where Yawn is useful. That first skill stun with the long range full map ultimate. It really deals a lot of damage, and if Yawn left untouched, is really quite scary, right?
I think if Yawn is left touched, it's quite scary as well. If you leave it to the late game, it's just scary in general because of his burst, like his Rain of Fire. You've got a really irritating AoE skill as well. You've got your I think the passive is where his burst really comes in. The scary part, you hit 3 times and then you have that burst. So I think not only is Yawn scary, it's how they protect the Yawn, how they have that wall, like they have the crit knock coming in. But this time they pick up the Maja and they pick up a Lindis as well, and on top of it they have a Zip. So I think the Maja is to really counter the crit knock pick. So it's kind of like, alright, if you pick up the crit knock, we have a Maja. If you come in, we'll just blow you up.
I think they want to drag the fights, cause like both Maja and Zip, they have the ability to kind of disengage anytime from the fight, right? An ultimate from Maja, no damage, get the heal. Zip, you can just take one member out of the fight instantly as long as you don't get stunned, right? So Lindis, a very
one of the best
character.
juking heroes as well.
Yeah, and they have a lot of map control in terms of they can check out bushes and stuff like that really easily with Lindis' skill. So I think they want to kind of drag the fight and just get the pokes in first. Lindis is a very strong poke character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With
like all MMs do as well. And in this case, they have a Murad. If there's a Murad,
difficult, right?
Yeah,
difficult.
And it's gonna be tough because you have his ultimate. It's really hard to do with. The combustion is just, it's turbulence. It's a temporal turbulence. I just get that right. Temporal turbulence is a skill that is so scary. Not
That's
only
right.
late game, early game as well. You have so much burst damage, kind of similar to what Azil has, but instead, imagine Azil that's able to traverse the entire map freely. I think that's the scary part.
I think with both of their picks in terms of the jungler, right? Both teams have a very slow start.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Murad and Lindis, they don't do like
too
super
much
heavy damage at the start of the game, but as we enter the late game phase, it's really who catches who first, right? If Murad catches you with his 4 stacks, you're done. His ulti means you're dead. Well, Lindis, that instant burst with her ultimate and her passive as well, I mean that is a lot of damage on both sides. But so this game, I think, is now not about the control, it's about the laning phase and who gets more objectives than the other, right? SGM here, I think they have already shown us that they are very good at taking objectives. They have always secured the first AD. If given the proper opportunities, second, third AD. If not the DS, we haven't seen opponents take a DS from them yet. Right?
No, not yet.
So this is really scary on the side of SGM. But at the same time, while it is Murat, they have a lot of escape mechanisms.
Wait, why though? Why the Tane ban? I don't. Okay, that's something I just don't understand. Why are you banning out the Tane? I know that Tane might be one of Space Gamer Mamazita's main tank, but still, like, if you look at the draft coming out from SGM as compared to what they had in the first game, I think there are a lot of other heroes that are way scarier as compared to what you can ban out.
I think it's probably a personal setup for the team on SGM here, because SGM, I mean, if you consider Murat, for example, essentially what Tane can offer is kind of close to 1 second to 1.5 seconds of
absolutely.
Like
I do agree.
Full control on the opponent team, right? That push towards, if he catches, like she catches 3 or 4 members, that's an instant kill for Murat.
And the high burst as well. And but no, I mean the Tane is getting banned out on the side of SweetyMood against Space.
It's banned for both teams, right? So this is something that I think they don't want to deal with. I think I have seen really good Tanes as well. Tanes, they have the ability to kind of control team fights, because at any point of time, if the team fight doesn't turn out well, you can turn to Tane to kind of disengage as a whole, sacrifice himself, get the rest of the opponent team behind, and just save that team fight with 1 kill, right? But here, on the side of SGM here, Murat with Ignis is gonna be really irritating. Ignis's cooldown is
a lot
really,
of AoE
really
damage
fast.
as well. If you compare to the Yawn, he has that second skill. I forgot what's the name. And then you have Ignis with the Rain of Fire. You combine both with the fact that you have Murat with the Temporal Turbulence, and then suddenly it looks really scary in terms of going to a team fight where you don't have that much of a CC as compared to what you ban out. Because you look at SweetyMood's draft, so far the heroes they ban out, you ban out Zeno, other than Florentina, you ban an Omar, a Tane, all these 3 heroes, lots of CC, a lot of sustain, a lot of disruptors to their lineup. So I think this is what SweetyMood is trying to avoid. They're trying to avoid fighting against heroes that have high amount of CC and high amount of I would say HP, very tick heroes that can actually go up with a draft. And it makes sense because they have a Lindus and they're picking up a Valheim, which are really bursty heroes. The one question is, how are they going to jump? Once again, same question I posed in the first game. Who is the one that's going to be jumping onto SGM? Because if you look at now, the only hero that can really go in, soak up damage, is Omen. You have a Lindus can poke up from far. Yes, Maja can go in on her own, but it's going to be the same question again. The first game, they had the Rogue standing in front. They had the Zeno standing in front. This game, you have the Maja standing in front. You have a Zip that can disengage and help you push the waves, and Omen to actually soak up damage. But where is that follow-up? Where is that hero that can dive the back, take out the Yawn or take out the Ignis, and actually remove that backline?
Well, I don't know. SGM's lineup here at this point in time is really strong in my opinion.
And they pick up an Alice as well. That is even more sustained. You put that friendship down, you drop that Sunshine, and suddenly the whole team looks untouchable.
It looks like an insta-stun lockdown for me on the side of SGM, right? Ignis can stun you with as long as 2 hits of any of his skills hit you. And Alice able to throw out stuns from a distance. Yawn able to throw out stuns from a distance. You have Alice who can actually increase your movement speed with the shield as well. So the entire team on the side of SGM is
just AoE.
Really mobile, really good AoE, right? And this is gonna be the main issue for the side of SweetyMood, because SweetyMood, yes, they have really strong burst characters on a 1v1 situation. The biggest AoE skill they probably have is gonna be Valheim, right, with his passive.
Oh yeah.
But if you can't catch out singular targets against the team, then it's gonna be a problem, because we have seen SGM play. SGM likes to group out as a group. As a full team of 5 members, 5 members can distribute the damage between themselves, right? And I think this is the main issue that SweetyMood is going to be facing.
I think the only difference is that this time round, Space Gamer Mamazita don't really have a front line. Yes, you have a Yena, but she's not the tankiest of heroes, right? You do have
she can't really okay.
As compared to tanks, as compared to a Baldum, as compared to a Zeno, she's not able to stand the front line as compared to Omen as well, or Maja. But they do have a lot of bursts in the Murat, Ignis, and Yon. This is what I'm afraid of. If they are playing as Mozi, as you said in the previous game, and they play the same way that they have been playing throughout the entire game, then it becomes a trouble for SweetyMood because they must skill fast enough to soak up the damage coming from SGM. If not, he will get overrun from the big game.
I think the toughest position right now to play is probably going to be Moon here. Moon, in my opinion, is going to be the one that controls the game on the side of SweetyMood, because Moon is the one that's going to be influencing how the lockdowns are going to be influenced, whether they can get the lockdown or not, and that the lockdown almost instantly means a kill on the side of SweetyMood. So this is all in Moon's pocket. Moon has to do well. If she can pull her game off, you know, this probably is the game that they can win. And take one set away from SGM here. As you can see here, Moon is she's gonna be trying to get as much farm as she can, taking the Sentinel.
Yeah.
Oh, space. Remove here, gonna be a 1v1 situation. Yenna doesn't really do too well against Owen in the early game.
But I think she's doing a really good job. She's just poking with the first skill of the Blood Crescent, just making sure that she doesn't stay too far. Once she gets her ultimate, she goes full Crescent mode, and then suddenly she's really impressive with the ultimate. I think what's gonna be the difficult part for Moon is that if you face up against such a good player as Rimu, who's not afraid to trade blows with you and can keep her distance as well, then suddenly your task of bullying her in the off lane is not that easy anymore.
I think here right now the biggest problem is that Kurosawa is gonna always be winning the mid lane against a Valheim. So while that is gonna be a split second in terms of like getting the levels to be equal, a 1 level difference for at least like maybe 10-15 seconds is going to be the main difference. And it looks like here the Murat's going to be going in, not a lot of damage here, but maybe going to get caught out here as Rimu tries to give the chase here, but looks like everything is safe so far. SweetyMood really good disengage. So this is the main strength of the team, right? With Zip, with Omen as well as with Lindis, they are able to get out of team fights as fast as possible. But Lolicon not gonna make it happen as it gets it. So it looks like it's gonna be the first kill happening, first blood on the Zip here. So it looks like this is not the only problem they're gonna be having, as a blue buff is gonna be taken by Murat as well. S9 doing great again, as Olive is stuck in the middle here on the Lindis as Rimu tries to make things difficult on the top lane. Chailing once again with the Yawn, gets the stun in here. Maja is gonna be fine. Many escape options as well. So once again, now 1k gold advantage at close to 3 months. Not a very huge issue, but as we have seen, the snowball effect from SGM is really strong. So Olive here is gonna have an uphill task here, as you can see. So the first rotations, 3-man rotations that we made now is gonna be at the bottom lane, as Alice gonna check out the jungle, gonna catch out Olive here. This is gonna be great on the side of SGM if they can get this steal, and it looks like it's not gonna happen here, as Olive actually secures the red buff for herself. So now, oh no, Maja all alone at the bottom tower, and the stuns come in, the silence comes in, and Dark Rose still making it out of it, but at what cost?
Yeah, I think it's fine. They don't kill the Maja, like you said, but they do get the bottom lane in return. You're gonna see SweetyMood, they just set up for the Mind Golem. That's the best they can hope for in that situation. Maybe, just maybe, try to pressure the top lane, but you gotta say Rimu just doing so well in top lane all by her
waiting
own.
For the support here as she just goes in because she knows the rest of the team is coming, but can she survive for that long? Rimu here probably gonna survive here. Oh, it looks like Zip is just
that's
gonna
a bad
go in.
move.
Bad move here. Gonna pay the price as she actually gets taken out. It's gonna be 2-0 here, as maybe takes another chunk of health taken away.
Yeah, so a little bit of a classic greediness coming in from the Zip. They try to pick up the Rimu as well. I think if Rimu went down, it would have been a fair trade, right? You take a top laner who's doing really well.
I think Rimu already knew what's going on. That was a very good bait here. So Moon, once again, the weight of the weight of the game on her shoulders. I think so far she's been doing well, but the rotations by the rest of space, I think really strong. You see, Rimu's all the way to bottom lane again. So all the way from top lane, less than what? 30 seconds, she's getting farm for herself.
Less than 20 seconds. Like one moment she's at top lane getting killed.
And she's moving the way to the middle as Murat gets in the ultimate. And no kills yet so far, but it's gonna be more or less a tower if nothing else happens here, as the stuns have been coming. So look at the lockdown from the side of SGM, right? SGM has been really good at zoning out SweetyMood because they have the silence from Alice, they have the stun from Ignis, and if they allow Murat to get the stacks in, I mean, S9 already known to be very dangerous on the carry role, jungle role of the team, and now they're gonna probably secure the first AD of the game for themselves as S9 is the one that's gonna make it happen here. And so once again, SweetyMood on the back foot. I don't see how they're gonna be able to come back from this if they continue playing as the way they are playing right now here. Olive gonna be caught out here. Reimu just giving a few pokes, but a very painful one at that with less than half health. And it looks like it's gonna be the second tier turret on the bottom lane here as S9 gets the free outie in. And it looks like Zip is not in a good position here as 4 members of SGM are in the base. Looks like Zip is gonna probably be able to save one of the teammates. No,
team tower has been
taken
destroyed.
out here, Dark Rose. So it looks like Olive's gonna pay the price as well for a very aggressive push out as Reimu tries to get it, but a nice slow. So Dex actually saved her life here, but that's not gonna save much as the center turret in the middle lane, in defense by Moon here, but we have all 5 members on the top portion of the map on SGM as it looks like Chinny is going to help to get the free tower. Lockdown here by Moon. No, actually didn't get the lockdown. Yeah. So this is still a free tower of course to the side of SGM. Really well done. 3-0, a 3k goal lead.
I love how efficient, you know, Charlene is as a player. If you notice, you know, what happened down mid lane, whenever she's not hitting a hero, she's hitting something else. She's always doing something on the map. Taking towers, taking farm. She's not a single second is wasted on this yawn.
Well, she's kind of like a bad omen for the side of SweetyMood. Every time she shows up, it's either a turret or an objective being taken. Yeah. So really well done to her. Space, I mean, wow, this is a world-class difference here. Olive once again very low on health, very risky move here, saying although the team is around, Reimu, if she gets the kill here, is going to be very devastating for the side of Olive. Not in terms of only farm, but in terms of experience as well. But here Moon is going to be the one that sets the tone here because Reimu is going to be taken out here as they try and force the issue with the bottom first tier turret. Looks like they are going to be able to get this bottom tier turret, but once again, at what cost? Because now the DS has been taken. Very good rotations here. S9 once again the person responsible. It's gonna be a 2k goal lead now as we take a look at Dark Rose. Gonna meet up with Lolicon in the bushes.
Yeah, I like how scary it is. Like we see a very classic example of Lolicon. Oh, they pulled the Abyssal Dragon out of position. And that's gonna allow Lolicon to apply a little bit of pressure. They reset the AD. They do not even pick up the AD when they lost the Dark Slayer in the first place.
Huge mistake there. I think this is gonna be heavily punished on the side of SGM. It's gonna be extending to a 2k goal lead now as Olive wants to get the buff but not gonna be able to do so as he goes down to Kuruzo. And it looks like a nice stun here. Dark Rose, while she has very good escape mechanisms, I don't think she can deal much damage as the Drake has been summoned here. Lolicon going to be locked down by Moon, so Moon is going to help them secure the first kill, but they're all backed up together. Looks like what? Look at the damage here. So one combination by Kurosawa as well as S9 brings most of them to half health here. As they look to disengage from the fight, they should disengage as S9 is already on their heels here. It looks like he's going to jump in. Won't he get the kill? He gets the first kill. And it looks like Dark Rose is going to make it out here without having to burn the ultimate. But S9 still at full health. Look at that. 3 ultimates all the way. Just clearing the jungle creep camps here.
Yeah, I mean, no Alice, no problem there because they have more than enough damage. Alice, you know, not exactly the most important hero to drop, although Lolicon has been playing a really good hero. As long as Charlene doesn't get caught out on this yawn, they should be fine. Now they got the Marja as well as the Omen out of the base. Not too sure if you want to completely separate the rest of the team. Oh, bad positioning!
Actually, still okay. Cheney's probably gonna die here.
No, she
Cheney gets the 1-for-1 exchange, but I think it's worth it. Okay, 2-for-1 exchange, definitely worth it here. While she gives her life to Dark Rose, but Dark Rose actually pays the price and dies instead. Zip here trying to force the issue and, you know, put up a good defense. But as the creeps are marching down the mid lane, you can see all 3 lanes being pushed in. Space in a very good position here. Olive maybe getting caught out. They have to deal with this Murat here, right? So the main issue SweetyMood is facing is, so number 1, they have 3 lanes of creeps marching down the lanes, right? And they have Muran who is getting free stacks by the jungle creep right outside the base, which is a standard Muran move of course, but it always spells disaster here as S9 doing a pretty good job taking a look at the stacks here. 3 outies all the way, doesn't look too good. They get the kill on Lolicon though, so now they manage to push it out. They are going to catch S9.
The burn comes in, they will pick up the Murat, but they are really low. Muraja coming in with more Olive on the back line as well. And this is where the Valheim can shine, but he's getting taken out by Charlie. One more hit, maybe we'll do the trick. Maybe we'll survive. They get the triple kill coming in. And maybe, just maybe, this is the turn that they need. Maja nearly getting one more hit. No, it's not. But they finally get the yawn. Olive will pick up the pieces of the battle, but Kurosawa will walk away the sole survivor of space. I mean, break that one down. That
was crazy. So I think S9, I mean, they were overconfident at this point of time, right? So, I mean, they are really strong. S9 was kind of, I think S9 was 3 levels ahead of most of the people on the team on the side of SweetyMood, right? But here comes the fight. Lolicon, you're all alone. This is not the fight you want to start. They have to try and pull out and wait for the Murat to come down at least. Yana here, Rimu is going to try and force the issue. They're probably going to stop the DS attempt here. Good diffusal of the situation here. So I think this is really, really good on the side of SGM. They managed to stop the DS, because if SweetyMood got the DS, it was going to be a huge swing. Things would have been even on the side of experience and gold. Probably, yeah, the gold as well. So SweetyMood, they kind of are starting to run into the momentum right now. I think they should try and secure the 80. I don't know why they left the DS. They knew that the DS fight was going to be happening, and it looks like it's going to be a free DS here on the side of SGM, as Murat definitely going to get it for the team. So now, once again, this is going to be the issue. All 5 members up on both sides. Who do they have to catch first on the side of SweetyMood, right? They want to be able to catch the Murat off. They want to be able to catch the Alice. They should take the Alice out of sight. If they can, they should take Murat first, of course. But Alice is the main problem here, as Marja is going to be burning her ultimate to get away from the Murat's ultimate. Lolicon here, just really ballsy and aggressive as they start the team fight here.
Control is not being able to pick anyone out here, but they do catch Wood out of place. He used his flash there as well. That might be a little bit of a misplay. I'm not too sure if that's going to be a really huge cooldown coming in from the Omen. But now, not only that, they're going to put the Drake down to top lane and they push the mid. They might be able to steal the Sage Golem as well. It's gone over to the Lynn, so not too bad. But S9 comes in with the Temporal Turbulence, does a little bit of damage down. They get the stun in, a double knockup once again coming out for the Yawn, and they are really low. Zip, the last one in the back line, gonna be able to survive this one. But here is the issue for SweetyMood. In order to take down, the side of Rimu, they need at least 2 heroes, but that's gonna leave 3 open.
Moon is gonna catch a glimpse of Rimu, but Rimu just, she doesn't care, right? She's so tanky.
And that's the thing, like I said, they need 2 heroes to take her down.
Oh no, and it looks like, look at that damage here. They do manage to get the Valheim out of the way, but they do lose a tower in the process as well. As you look at SGM, they are gonna be pushing down the mid lane. This is gonna be disaster here, because the stun has come in. Lolicon, they wanna catch her if possible. Where the stun here from Zip. Not gonna happen, as they're gonna lose the second tower in the base, and this leaves the third one at the bottom. And it looks like Chilin, take a look at the damage, man.
Yeah, it's just
very aggressive, nice hook there, and with the ultimate, but she's gonna pay the price with her life. It's a good outing here. A lot of damage being dished out, but where is the follow-up here? Nothing, no follow-ups here so far. Olive gonna be caught out here by Murat. Oh, S9.
Oh, Tango coming in from the side of space. They tango back and forth. They managed to get the kills. Now only Zip as well as Lynn is alive. I'm pretty sure this is not enough. And the mistake is they did not have that finishing blow. However, Lynn might be making a very big play. Temporal, one more hit.
And it looks like Olive is going to be taken out. This is the game for sure. This is a second win in a row for the second series of the day. So SGM really, really well played to them. I mean, S9, come on, S9, you are my MVP for sure. So S9, she's really done a good job. I mean, Murat, we all know how you should deal with a Murat, right? But of course, what works in theory is different from the practical stage. So, I mean, they couldn't control the jungle creeps. So that was the main issue for the downfall, especially for the base defense, because they couldn't clear the jungle waves, right? If you don't clear your jungle waves, Murat, it's free game for him all the way. S9, she knew that. She took the stacks at every single opportunity she had, which just spells free ultis for Murat. And what happens when you have free ultis against Murat? It's just free damage. And the squishy lineup on the side of SweetyMood, they can't tank much, right? So I mean, this is really, really well played on the side of SGM. They understood the drafting. They understood how to get the win conditions out. They had so many. All they had to do was to get the Alice stun in, or the Alice silence. They had to get Ignis with the stacks on the skills for the stun. And all of this with the addition of the 4 stacks by Murat on the side of S9. I mean, it was just an easy game for her, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think not only that, if you look at the way the team is kind of set up, I think SGM's draft is just way more
robust. I think
it's not only robust, it's easier to execute. Like they have so much damage, all they have to worry about is not getting caught out. As long as you're not caught out, you win the game. You're freed up to let the Yon do damage. You got Rain of Fire coming from Ignis, you got plenty of zoning out, you got Friendship as well as the lockdown coming in for the Alice, the stun, the AoE, and you compile the fact that Alice ultimate has magic damage amplifier compared with the Ignis, and the fact that you have a Murad as well. That's just a disaster for SGM. Or rather a disaster for SweetyMood. It's just
right,
they have no way to re-engage. And even in the last fight coming to the bot lane, we saw SweetyMood do a really good job. They brought down
they
nearly got it, but they just don't have that sustain against the lineup of SweetyMood. And the only SGM, and the only hero that could potentially survive the fight was Lindis. And the only reason why she was surviving because she's standing out of the range. But
they did change the flow of the fights, right? So Moon, I think she really did a good job. She was hyper aggressive. I mean, you saw the bottom lane. She just went in against all 5 members, and she got the lockdown. So that was the one of the factors for winning the team fight. I think it was just a pity they couldn't get that final burst of damage. If they did, that it would have been a very different story. I think if they won that team fight, that probably would have been game for SweetyMood for sure. I mean, they have so much damage, but. It's just a pity, but it's okay. I mean, this is what happens during competitions, especially one at this level, FSL circuit. This is our Thailand qualifiers, right? So SGM, I mean, they've played really, really well so far. S9, once again, MVP for sure so far, based on whatever has been happening.
Yep,
right?
But a really good game coming up from all of the players. We'll go for a little bit of a short break, but when we are back, we'll bring you the next game, which I believe is going to be up against, or rather Lunaris up against Day 9 Realm. Or rather Realme, that's the name. Pretty interesting. And the winner of that game is going to go up against the winner of that game will go up against Mary Jane. So we'll see how that game turns out. We'll go for a short ad break, but when we're back, we'll bring you more AoV of the FSL circuit.